host, Dr. Kentrell Liddell, MD, MBA. The purpose of this show is to help mitigate health disparities, improving literacy related to health, economics, and education. For all your professional development, professional management, and educational support services needs, contact Test Taking Solution, where we're igniting success. Located at 2104 Thousand Oaks Drive in Jackson, Mississippi. Literacy is knowledge, and knowledge is power. Thank you for joining the Literacy Hour. Well, good morning, everyone. Listen, boy, I tell you what, you guys are absolutely amazing. Today is Tech Tuesday, and of course, I would get up and we would be having some technical issues, not at our illustrious radio stations, WMPR 90.1 FM and our affiliate stations, but instead in our very own studio. I tell you what, thank you so much for following us on Facebook and Instagram using the handle TT Solution LLC. I really appreciate all the calls, man, between trying to get on and answer your calls and chats and emails. I've had a time this morning, but how many of you know that we are blessed to be alive? We are so very blessed. And some of us, man, listen, I feel like I'm double blessed today because I listened to that wonderful show on yesterday morning that Dr. Sabrina Williams provided us, talking about growing our wealth, but more than that, being ready for when our time comes and when our number is called. If you didn't hear that show, man, go find it on her Facebook page as Dr. Sabrina Williams. I am so noted. And then this morning, always being ushered before the throne of grace by Brother DJ Larry Armstrong. And man, I tell you what, it just warms my heart that we're here today. I had a fantastic weekend. Don't know about you. I hope you did. But if you didn't, I know what will lighten your day, what will lighten your weekend. Man, just get on over to the two Mississippi museums. St. Matthew MB Church. Oh, wow. They did it again, you all. Took the children, youth, and some of their parents and other chaperones over to the two Mississippi museums. And I just felt like I had walked into something. Man, listen, if you have not been to the museum, please trust me, you all. You ain't got to listen to me. Just go check it out for yourselves. There is free admission on Sundays, but beyond that, they're doing something special for church groups. Yes, there is free admission for church groups at any time. Did you hear what I just said? If you get your church together and you all go as a group, you will have free admission to the two Mississippi museums. We visited the Civil Rights Museum, and it changed a life or two of youth who just had no idea about some of our history. They watched videos intently. They asked excellent questions. The tour guides were amazing. Mr. Michael, who's running the whole show, you can tell that his leadership must be top notch because all of the staff were able to provide us with answers to our questions as they absolutely allowed us to tour at our own pace. They kind of gave an introduction and we went from there. And so, listen, every month is Black History Month for those of us who continue to want to honor the legacy of those who have come before us. I just thank God because I had a wonderful, wonderful experience at the two Mississippi museums. You want free admission for your church group at any time, not just a Sunday. You know, summer is coming up and a lot of you will be planning activities. What you hear me uh, recommending to you is that you put the two Mississippi museums on your list, your bucket list, if it's not already there. And if you have not already been, and even if you have been, you might want to go back. Because I don't know if they had all of these displays when you were there last time. Doors that open and close automatically and start videos and make you feel like you were back there in the 60s. Do you hear what I'm saying? I want you to experience what I experienced. And not just black folks, all folks need to be aware, if you aren't already, about all of the truths that some of us were never told. They got a whole wall filled with people who were lynched. And I'm told that sometimes people can find their family members on some of those lists. They have a replica of a jail cell. I'm not going to give it all away. I just want you to know that there is free admission for church groups to the two Mississippi museums. You can call 601 576 6902, and they will get you all the answers that you need. I will be remiss if I don't tell you also that they have an auditorium, though. A beautiful, large auditorium where they say they'll give a discount on event rentals for church groups. You can have your pastor's anniversary there. You can have your church anniversary there. You can have a wedding over there. All kinds of events are made possible by a grant that they have through Lilly Endowments Religion and Cultural Institutions Initiative. And they're using that grant to bless our community. We can't act on what we don't know, you all. And so you're just going to have to forgive me when I learn of resources and test taking solution gets our hands on some excellent information that we believe people can use to enrich their lives. We're going to share it. So you pass that information on to someone who you think needs to know. Again, thank you so much for checking on me this morning. Boy, ooh, my phone ring off the hook. Dr. Liddell, is everything okay? You don't know how much I appreciate that. Yes, I'm fine. I'm here. And a change is going to come if we don't give up and just keep going. I want to say good morning to you again and thank you for joining the Literacy Hour. It is the last day of March. Yes, we're about to get out of here. And for those of us who trust God and believe that He is still on the throne, uh, we just pray that He will allow us to see the end of this first quarter of 2026. Today is Tech Tuesday here on the Literacy Hour, and I'm your host, Dr. Kentrell Liddell, the founder and CEO of Test Taking Solution and the president of our nonprofit arm, the Test Taking Solution Foundation. I had an awesome time yesterday. I guess you say, man, she just happy this morning. I am happy this morning. I got a chance to touch ground in Macon, Mississippi. Do you really understand how much I love my hometown? If you don't, then you heard it here this morning that Macon has always been and will always be my home. Jackson is where I had an opportunity to become extremely well educated in the sciences and in the pre-meds and the medical arenas of my life, where my medical career took off and began to flourish, and where life happened, where my son Joshua was born. Jackson is also my home. I count Jackson. My business has been in Jackson for almost well, over 2 decades. I've paid property taxes, et cetera, et cetera. But Macon, whenever I get a chance to go home to Macon, it just does something to me. And yesterday, Mayor Freddie Poindexter, probably the youngest African American mayor in the state, I would venture to say. I don't know if that's true, so please don't quote me on it. But I just know that he's a young man who is an excellent leader, and I'm not just saying it because I don't need brownie points. I feel like I'm at a stage in life where I don't just need to be saying things. I really don't have to. I done been through enough in life to be able to stand 10 toes down and tell you it is what it is. But this young man, man, not only did I get a chance to present some mental health awareness training to our local law enforcement, but I got a chance to visit with the elders of the town as we engaged in bingo, a game of bingo and karaoke on yesterday, made possible by the mayor's office. The mayor just, he said, Dr. Liddell, I did it one time. And well, he didn't say no, Dr. Liddell. He said, Contrail. And they called me Trail at home. So I heard that a whole lot. I remember when I would do the ER up there, they'll come in the ER. Oh, Trail, you work in the ER tonight. Well, look, girl, I this and I that. And I said, well, yes, ma'am. And no, sir. And yes, ma'am. And just would go on and maintain uh, my level of professionalism, the level that being a medical doctor dictates. And we would get on down through there. And after they've had their blood work and their x-rays, et cetera, we would have a conversation just about how life is going on. And so it's always been a joy. But yesterday was an especially great joy. I got a chance to see former teachers like Miss Teresa Hughes. And good morning to you, Miss Hughes. Absolutely. I know several of them told me that they listened to the Literacy Hour. And I know you're listening this morning where you hear me saying once again, thank you. Thank you for helping to raise me, all of you. Thank you for just being good neighbors. Sunday school class this past Sunday talked about that. And I think it's important to love thy neighbor as thyself. That's the second and great commandment. For those of you who are Christians, you know that. So yesterday, I absolutely enjoyed listening to the elders, men and women, singing songs, and they were happy. Now, I don't care what's going on in your life right now. I don't care, what it looks like or sounds like or is like. There's something you can find joy in. And I recommend that you find a good church home if you are not a member of one, or you find an activity that the city has going on and get involved that way. I didn't see anybody looking at what others had on. I didn't hear anyone talking negatively. I just saw people having a good old time. They sang songs like we were in church, and boy, I I soaked it up. So yes, I'm energized this morning. Yes, I feel good this morning because I went somewhere where I was loved. And if you are feeling down, if you just need an uplift, I dare you to go somewhere where you are really loved, and you will feel it. It's not that I didn't feel it here in Jackson. I do. But when you see people who have gotten on up in the years and they're still getting up and putting on their earrings and their stockings and their high heels and doing their hair, and you see the men still helping the women, opening the doors, and you hear yes ma'am and no ma'am all over the place, and you hear folks saying I can help you with that, I got that, and you're just watching everybody love on each other. It does something to you. So on this Tech Tuesday, I'm going to share with you some information that has been shared with me. And I want to assure you And we haven't forgotten about Mississippi receiving, will be if the check hasn't come yet, approximately $206 million. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services announced back in December that all 50 states will receive awards under the Rural Health Transformation Program. It's a $50 billion initiative established under President Trump's Working Families Tax Cuts legislation. It's a public law, 119-21, but you don't have to worry about all that. Just know that Mississippi is once again being blessed to strengthen and modernize healthcare in rural communities across the country, and I'm mighty excited about it. I know 206 million is not that much when you look at all the work that needs to be done in the communities that have been so devastated by healthcare disparities. But it still is more than what we had. And it's a start. Now it's going to be all about how we utilize it. There's growth happening at Noxubee Medical Complex. I saw it with my own eyes yesterday. Breaking ground, constructing. Man, they were out there just working so hard. I had a good time in Macon, Mississippi at home on yesterday. And I love to see things moving in a positive direction, and that's what I saw. But this unprecedented federal investment will help our state and the other 49 states to expand access to care in rural communities. It's going to help strengthen the rural health workforce, modernize these facilities, and provide technology. That's right. That's why it's appropriate for me to share it with you once again on Tech Tuesday. I want you to know that some technology aids are coming our way. Innovative models that bring high quality, dependable care right close to home. Yes, good morning to you as well. Thank you all so much. I appreciate that encouragement. And yes, you can call in anytime. The call in number is 601. Thank you guys so much for putting it there on the screen. 714-8378. You can join the conversation. I love to talk with you. 601-714-8378. So, we were wondering who's going to be the keeper of those funds that our state receives. And we learned that a lot is going to be coming through our governor's office. And so he will be getting with various agencies to deploy the funds through a nice, organized way. So yeah, we're watching it. We hope and pray there are no bureaucratic obstacles that pop up. Because I said now, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said that he thanks President Trump for his leadership, is that rural Americans will now have affordable health care close to home, free from bureaucratic obstacles, end quote. That's what he said now. So I hope that he answers his phone now. When folks like me call and say, listen, some bureaucratic obstacles have popped up. You said that it wasn't going to be any. But right now, I haven't heard of anything that's popped up, because this $206 million is supposed to help our state move the needle. We are supposed to be able to improve our status of healthcare in our state. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of being on the bottom where healthcare is concerned. I'm tired of being at the top of the infant mortality list. I'm tired of being at the top of the diabetes, hypertension, obesity. I'm tired of it. And today being Tech Tuesday, we want to take this opportunity to say if the technology is available, then get it to us so we can begin to train on it, learn about it, deploy it so that it can help us to get healthy. And I don't know about making Mississippi healthy again. I suppose, especially after attending the Civil Rights Museum, after visiting that beautiful, beautiful place and learning well, I already had heard about a lot of those incidents that I saw on this past Sunday because I had teachers in school who taught it to us back in Noxubee County. But I understand, and they don't teach it anymore. And so thank God for the museum because you can't erase a history that took place. You can't erase it. You may as well go ahead and teach it. You may as well go ahead and tell it because it's going to get told. One way or the other, it's going to get told. Truth crushed to earth will rise again. That just dropped in my spirit. And I believe that Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said that. And I don't know how he knew, but he must have had some experience with it. And in my lifetime, I've had experience with truth that was crushed to earth, having risen again. And so you hold on. You don't have to fight a whole lot of battles. You don't. Even the Bible says that revenge is mine. I will repay, saith the Lord. We don't have to fight a whole lot of battles, but we do have to act. It's time out for all the talking and talking about what we shoulda, coulda, woulda done and need to do. Do it. Help out in your area. Help out and impact your circle of influence. I'm glad that the museum exists and they're doing the thing over there. I'm glad that Mayor Poindexter and his team roll up their sleeves and provide an outing for some people to come out and just fellowship. My brother is the sheriff of Noxubee County. He and the police chief were there on yesterday. They even spoke to those who were in attendance. See, when a community comes together, boy, that thing, no, it looks good. And you can move a mountain with it. I don't know what's gotten into me this morning, but I just feel a need to tell you that if there's a mountain in your way, all you have to do is speak to it and it will move. It says, speak to the mountain. Trust and believe in God, and things will, I said that things will, I declare that things will change, you all. We got money coming to Mississippi. We have people investing in Mississippi. And as goes Mississippi, so goes its communities. We will be blessed by what's going on. We will be blessed by what's going on. I just look forward to the day when things become even more fair. Because if it's fair now, let some people tell it it's fair. If it's just now, wow, I look forward to it becoming more fair and more just. And I mean, when folks can allegedly take millions of dollars of TANF money that was intended to help the poorest and the neediest amongst us. So we wouldn't need anybody to give us $206 million. We have the money, but when folks can take it and not be held accountable, and you mess around and cash a counterfeit $20 bill or check or something you use and you get thrown in up under the jail, things are not fair. They're just not fair. So that's the day I'm waiting on. I'm waiting on when justice will prevail all across our state in every area. I want to see that day, and I'm going to be happier than I am this morning, boy. You're going to see me running down the street saying it finally happened. So anyway, I hope that the money will be spent underwriting and supporting educational programming like the Literacy Hour to help spread the word about the historic investment being made in our state by the federal government. I also hope that none of the federal money will be clawed back because, recently our government has had a tendency to provide grant funding and other types of funding vehicles to much deserving organizations, particularly those helping the rural and underserved low resource communities. And then you look around, the money has gotten cut off or clawed back. I hope that doesn't happen with this rural health transformation money. I hope it does. And I hope that the executive order that uh, was signed by our president will cause the money to make it to Mississippi. CMS project officers under the leadership of Dr. Oz has been dedicated to each state. He said he has dedicated a project officer to every state because what? Every state is going to receive some money. And if you play that December episode, that health literacy episode is archived on our YouTube, you will hear me tell you how much each state is going to receive. And we are receiving 205,907,220, rounded to the nearest 100,000 is million is 206 million. That's rounded to the nearest million. The CMS project officers are going to convene program kickoff meetings and provide ongoing guidance and technical assistance during the implementation. The states are going to be submitting regular updates to CMS so that CMS, that Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, will be able to track the progress of the state. How is the state moving forward with the deployment of these funds? They're going to identify proven approaches. And I just want Mississippi to be at the top of the list, shining and beaming about all of the successful execution of the plans that we will be making all across our state. I'm looking forward to it. Yes, the program officers will ensure strong oversight and accountability because what? It's a 5-year program, you all. We will receive this money every year for the next 5 years. It's going to run through September 30th, 2031. That's a lot of money. Thank you so much for your comments and thank you for your emails. I got them. Somebody doesn't believe that it'll happen. They say that'll never happen. Mississippi is done. I wonder what that is. You got to define what that is. I done spoke about a few things. So what is that will never happen? Tell me what that means. Or you can call in and we can talk about it. But I just want to thank everyone who was involved with making sure that that type money comes to the state of Mississippi. There has been an update about it. I saw it earlier. It came across my desk, and I'm looking now to see exactly what they said. I know that we have some data centers going up. I'll talk about that in a moment. I got that. Thank you so much. And I just want you to be aware, though, that we are following very closely this funding. So we were just not going to let it go. We will keep you abreast of what's going on. CMS is ruling out fax machines. Talk about Tech Tuesday, man. Snail mail to save taxpayers $781 million a year, almost 782 million. They're getting rid of fax machines. They're getting rid of snail mail. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services is slashing wasteful spending and antiquated paperwork by swapping out faxing and mailing for streamlined electronic transactions. They say this action is going to let providers, that's healthcare providers, spend less time on administrative hassle and more time caring for patients. They call it the administrative simplification adoption of standards for healthcare claims, attachments, transactions, and electronic signatures final rule. Man, that's a mouthful. But it's projected to save the healthcare industry roughly $780 million a year just by getting rid of fax machines, you all, and getting rid of mailing out paper to people. Now, what I hope Dr. Oz and others don't forget is that not everybody is computer savvy. I hope they don't forget about that. He did say that the futuristic medical breakthroughs we've achieved, like augmented reality glasses that give surgeons x ray vision, shouldn't have to coexist alongside other processes and systems that lag decades behind. And he's right about that. Shouldn't have to coexist. But do we just get rid of it? Do we just cold turkey stop it? Man, in medical school and residency, they taught me to slowly withdraw patients from various medications, slowly wean patients off of the ventilators. But in this case, they just cut it, getting rid of fax machines and snail mail. And so here it is. People are going to have to learn how to use computers and how to access the information they need, the forms they need by way of the computer. And now this is supposed to be geared towards the providers because historically, providers have relied on outdated manual methods to submit claims related documentation. I know all about it. Health plans request more information. They might want medical records, x-rays, clinical notes, telemedicine visit documentation, lab results, etc. And what they're saying is this final rule is going to simplify that for healthcare claims attachments transactions. But if they're doing it for that, just sit back and get ready. It's coming for other systems as well. The standards adopted in this rule apply to the HIPAA law, the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. The rule is effective on May 19, 2026. That gives it 60 days to be published in the Federal Register. And all covered entities must comply by May 19th, 2028. So be aware of that technological advancement that is happening right before our very eyes. Let me answer a few more comments that have come in before I transition over to telling you something that might knock you out of your seat because it involves artificial intelligence. We started telling you about artificial intelligence back when we first came on the air, November 2022. I was telling you about it then. We had Tech Tuesday starting even back then, and we saw it. And here we are 4 years later in 2026, and artificial intelligence technological advances have come at lightning speed. We told you. So stay locked and loaded on the Literacy Hour. Stay tuned in. And I just think that we might be able to share something that may uplift and benefit your life. Let me take a look here. Thank you guys so much for letting me know that we still got some comments coming in. If Mississippi wanted to be a great state, it would have been one by now, despite our history. Mississippians like the dysfunctional state that we try to live in. Mississippi is a goal killer. That's Goal, goal killer. Mississippi is a dream killer. Wait a minute now. Somebody is talking about my state. I don't like when folks talk about my state now, but is he telling the truth? Is the question. Is he telling the truth? Is the question. Some people feel downtrodden, feel like they're being left behind in the midst of all these technological advancements. And I say, you're not going to be left behind because it's too many of us who truly do love and care about people. And we're going to provide you with the information that is being shared with us so that you won't be left behind. So I hate you feel that way, sir or ma'am. And I hope that you fall in love with Mississippi again because we are rising. Mayor Horn said that Jackson is rising. But now, even when a phoenix rises from ashes, it takes time. You have to ask yourself, are we moving in the right direction or are we going backwards? And you have to answer that for yourself. I know what I see. And I do see that Jackson is rising. I saw it with my own eyes yesterday. Macon is rising. And if these two cities are rising, I will venture to say that there are others across our state that are being led by leaders who truly love, leaders who truly care, and we will see Mississippi rise. So now, let me go ahead and tell you about this artificial intelligence because I don't want time to run out. I got too much I must make sure that you know today. America's chief financial officers, though, say that artificial intelligence will push some people out of their jobs. That's been a debate recently. Will I lose my job? And will my job still be here? And AI is taking over. Well, listen, I want you to understand something. The handwriting is on the wall. It is what it is. Primarily workers in routine, clerical, administrative roles. If you are not the best at what you do, you absolutely can and probably at some point will be replaced. I hate to be the bearer of bad news this morning, but artificial intelligence is here. Workers with highly skilled roles, such as architects and engineers, people who are moving atoms, people, that means folks who are working with their hands, are more likely to keep their jobs. I know folks who type on the computer work with their hands. I understand. But a computer can do much of the work that you're doing. And so if these highly skilled roles actually use AI to their advantage, these particular type roles will continue to survive and thrive. A new study based on a survey of about 750 chief financial officers, I didn't say it, is printed in the Wall Street Journal. America's chief financial officers say AI is coming for administrative jobs. They found that so far AI has essentially no employment effect in 2025, and that most expect AI will lead their companies to trim only a small number of their overall jobs. And that was what they were saying for 2025. But now this article was updated March 24th, 2026, where they say it is still possible that workers with jobs that require more education and more training could eventually get hit. But it probably won't happen this year in 2026. And that's according to an economist who works at Duke University. He was one of the paper's authors. Yeah, that paper was released as a working paper, and it wasn't done by rinky-dink. It was done by professionals of the National Bureau of Economic Research. This is what they do. They research economics. They follow the trends, what's going on. They collect data and they analyze that data. And they ask chief financial officers about their expectations for companies and the overall economy for the next 30 years. CFOs, you see, are uniquely placed to understand the inner workings of their companies. So they went to the CFOs and asked them, how are you allocating or reallocating your company's resources right now? How are they being deployed? Well, Meta just laid off thousands of people. I mean, just like that. Said that AI is being used in their job roles now and that they have maximized their productivity, the company that is, and just laid the people off. So the CFOs, they've spoken. When personal computers started arriving in offices in the 1980s, college educated employees such as financial analysts, scientists, and consultants were able to do more at work. But jobs that entail doing more routine stuff like typist and back office bookkeepers, roles that had once promised a solid path to the middle class, those roles were no longer so vital. Those jobs didn't disappear, but the share of workers doing those kinds of office support roles did indeed shrink. More workers who lacked a college degree, they crowded into those lower paying jobs that hadn't been displaced by the computer. Okay. Jobs like leisure, hospitality work, they were not displaced by the computer. Whether AI will ultimately be skills biased, hurt the highly educated more, or broadly raise worker productivity is a debate. They're debating whether it's going to help us or hurt us. One unsettling thing we're seeing right now, the people who do lose their jobs won't necessarily get the new jobs that AI creates. hmm And that could be especially hard on young people looking to land their first job. But that study signaled that AI would slightly weigh on overall employment. The survey only includes now companies that are already established as opposed to new companies. So new companies are popping up and they're trying to make use of artificial intelligence. And I just wanted to share with you today that study that was done by 750 chief financial officers across our country. Now let's talk about the data centers. We spent an entire Tech Literacy Tuesday on data centers recently, but I learned back early in March that there's a data center um, going up in Clinton. Yeah, Amazon Web Services. They're talking about a $750 million AI data center in Clinton, Mississippi. So now, if you don't think that AI is impacting anything, you call in and tell me, would you spend $750 million on a data center if AI is not impacting anything? That's a lot of money. And Clarion Ledger, who else was it? Mississippi Today. I mean, lots of sources are confirming that a data center will be built in Clinton, Mississippi. This makes 6 data centers being built around our state. Elon Musk got, XAI. They announced back this past January a $20 billion data center in South Haven, the largest investment in our state so far. Elon Musk investing $20 billion in a data center. Amazon announced its second data center in Mississippi last November. Yeah, they promised, what was it, $3 billion investment in Warren County. And then the most recent data center announcement came in March when an unnamed company struck this agreement with the city of Clinton. Then Avio Digital, they announced last August that it would build a $6 billion sustainable data center in Brandon. So Brandon has the amphitheater, which is selling out. Y'all tell me Lil Wayne is coming, or maybe he's already been here. I'm not. There are some things I just don't keep up with. If you want to keep up with those things, then you just have to keep up with them. I'm trying to make sure that we understand where the jobs are going to be and that we understand how technology is being structured such that it helps our lives. That data center, there's a $6 billion sustainable one that's going to be built in Brandon. Amazon Web Services announced January 2024 about the $10 billion investment to build several data centers in Madison County. And if you haven't been to Madison lately, go on over there. You'll see Amazon. It looks like a city within a city. Construction is underway in Lauderdale County, where Compass Data Centers is building a $10 billion data center campus for another company. That's Compass Data Centers in Lauderdale County. So, what type job should our sons and daughters, and maybe even some of us, be preparing for to be able to land one of these high paying jobs that the data centers will offer? Well, I'm glad you asked about it because I that will become available in the data center industry. Career paths and future growth of these data centers. The data center industry, that's what I called it. And that's what they need to start because it's a whole industry. It's at the heart of the digital economy. It's powering everything from cloud computing to artificial intelligence to e-commerce to enterprise operations. And as the demand for data processing and storage continues to grow, so does the need for skilled professionals in those various roles within a data center, whether in construction, engineering, hardware, software, facilities management. Career opportunities in the data center industry are going to continue to expand rapidly. So get ready. There are different aspects that you might be able to reskill, upskill, or maybe you're already in one of these industries. Hold on, because yours is going to blossom. Construction. Construction. Data centers require highly specialized infrastructure. So, professionals in construction, you're going to play a critical role in their design and their build out. Project managers, those who oversee timelines and budgets and technical specifications, you are in demand. Architects and structural engineers, you design the layout and the physical structure to optimize cooling and energy efficiency and security. You're in demand. Electrical and mechanical engineers. Yes, I'm talking to the students, tech taking solution scholars. You're on your way to school. You tell me you should be in school by now, though, and you shouldn't be listening to me. But we'll tell you when you come to after school. Make sure that our scholars know here are the careers that you can choose from if you so desire. General contractors and technicians, engineering and infrastructure, data center engineers, they manage the day to day operation of IT infrastructure. Network engineers, power and cooling engineers. We're talking welders, we're talking electricians, plumbers, automation and control engineers, hardware engineers, software developers, cybersecurity specialists. Ooh, we definitely need those. I know you heard about the hack of the University of Mississippi Medical Center's computer that happened recently. Shut the whole place down. But UMMC, that's my alma mater. That's why I attended family medicine residency. They had a backup plan. They resorted to the paper. They did what they needed to do to keep things running. But yeah, they did have to close some clinics. This thing is real, you all. Technology is real. It impacts every aspect of our lives. Shut down a whole university medical center's system because it got hacked. So, cybersecurity specialist, we're going to need you to implement those firewalls, to encrypt things, to provide security protocols, to help us defend ourselves against cyber threats. Let me keep going. Facility managers, you're in need. Security specialists, compliance officers. Yeah, we want to make sure folks are adhering to regulatory requirements. OSHA and all these industry standards. I love it. Career development and future growth. I need everyone to stay tuned and just watch and talk to your youth and get them involved in summer programs. Test Taking Solutions summer program will open for registration in June. But shoot, it looks like it's going to be full before it opens. My goodness. And I don't blame you. If I had a little kid, I would make sure they attend Test Taking Solutions summer program. Math Mondays, Field Trip Tuesdays, Wealth Building Wednesdays, Storytelling Thursdays, Scientific And Food Friday? We've been doing that for 3 years. And I just thank God that we're able to continue to do so. I just want us to be informed. We got Chat GPT, Gemini 3, all of these different uh, technological advances still with us. Folks falling in love with these chat bots. A lot of scams going on. It is what it is, and these things are documented. Stay informed. Stay tuned to stations like WMPR 90.1 FM that allows shows like ours to come into your vehicles and your homes. YouTube, StreamYard. Yeah, we pay for all of that. But I just thank God that we're able to do so that we can continue to tell you about things that we are seeing and hopefully help to benefit someone's life. We're so very thankful that you tuned in today. That's it for me. I want to thank the anonymous donor who visited our homepage of our foundation's website. That's ttsfoundation.org. You were able to keep up with us, and somebody visited and found our Walmart gift registry. Thank you. Thank you for the items that you ordered and had delivered to our foundation. The children, thank you. The youth, the families, our staff. We thank you so very much. You didn't have to, but you did. Everybody, tune in next week. We'll be focused on education literacy, let you know what's going on in the education arena around our beautiful state of Mississippi. Until then, be kind to yourself and be kind to others. God bless you.
For the past 1 hour, you have been listening to the Literacy Hour with Test Taking Solution and your host, Dr. Kentrell Liddell, MD, MBA. We are located at 2104 Thousand Oaks Drive in Jackson, Mississippi. Visit us on the web at www.testtakingsolution.com. Join us each Tuesday from 7 to 8 a.m. for another life-changing conversation here on our podcast live stream at affiliate stations.
A long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will.